So welcome, folks. We're going to be talking about some biology today. I'm going to try to keep it more macro level and not try to go down to too much detail because it does get a little bit intense. But we're going to be talking mostly about cannabinoids. It's a kind of a buzzword right now. It's been proliferating in the United States for the last 2 to 3 years. I myself have been personally studying the molecule for about 5 years, 4.5, 5 years, and I've been dispensing or administering, I can't say treat, I've been administering cannabinoids to individuals for about 3.5 years, and it's the most amazing molecule I've ever encountered in my life. So we're going to talk a little bit about how it affects the body, the cells, and especially today, the brain. Okay? So, I'm John Callahan. I'm a personal health coach. I'm a phyto-cannabinoid consultant, self-named because I've been studying this molecule so long. Founder of azWHOLEistic, and this is a retail establishment that educates people about cannabinoids. We also have a lot of other plant-based products. We sell moringa. We sell hemp protein. We sell reishi mushroom powder. If you've ever heard of it, jot it down. An amazing molecule for neurological detoxification. So we have a lot of plant-based products. We've got 4 locations in Arizona, and we sell phytonutrients, okay? azWHOLEistic. The whole is a play on words, W-H-O-L-E, because we like to talk to people about the whole body, okay? So, my personal opinion on the body, mind, and spirit work in concert as a system of energy containing complex chemical and electrical interactions. So they're both in red because I want people to always think about your body's not just chemical, it's electrical. Your cells need charge to work, and they get charged from a lot of different things. They get charged from food, they get charged from the environment, and they get charged from the earth, believe it or not. Do some research on earthing or grounding. The earth sends off energy that your body actually absorbs. It keeps your cells charged. Okay, so there's millions of symphonies happening in the body, coordinating every second. Right now, there's millions of things happening in your body every second. And to function optimally, these membranes need to be fed to be healthy. And so empirically, we know that the more nutrients in your cells, the better you eat, okay? The better cannabinoids work and the better your body functions. We know this because when we see people come in the store with very poor diets, or they're on multiple pharmaceutical medications, which over time can shield the cell from absorbing nutrients, they tend to need a lot higher dosage of cannabinoids to influence those receptors. But people that eat really well, athletes that come in, people that are vegan, people that eat a lot of plant-based nutrients, very low dosages tend to stimulate these receptors for these people. And always remember, your gut influences your brain. Okay, there's enormous amounts of data that have recently come out in the last 2 years about bacteria and microbes in the gut and how it literally affects the brain. And we've seen this with people. They come into the store with a headache, they've got chronic migraines, they go to the doctor's treating the brain, they're doing scans, they're doing CT scans, they're trying to figure out what's going on in the brain. Turns out it's coming from the gut, and the gut is influencing the brain, okay? So listen to your body. So what happens when your body isn't functioning properly? It's always going to tell you. It always tells you if something's not right, typically through inflammation, through pain, or something just stops working. You get a symptom. This is a sign for you to change. Okay? We frequently want to go to the doctor to tell them, how am I going to fix this? And the doctor typically will ask you some questions and typically will prescribe some type of medication. Prescription medications address the short term, but they never really heal the body. Okay? So we're going to talk briefly about some toxins. Let's not get paranoid or overwhelmed, but we're surrounded with toxins all day, every day. And they're influencing the way our body functions. So we've got, right, sodas, not good for the body. Fluoride, not good for the body. We've got bug sprays. We've got certain fruit juices contain arsenic. The FDA has indicated that there's a certain amount that's okay. I would disagree. Lead in paints. We see painters that come in the store, they're covered in paint. And I just look at their skin thinking, God have mercy, what's being absorbed into their bloodstream on a daily basis? Right? We've got mercury in sushi. We've got all sorts of pesticides on our food and our vegetables. No one's really talking about dry cleaning chemicals, right? The skin is the largest surface area on the body. So you send your clothes out to get dry cleaned, you put the clothes on your body, what happens? There are microscopic chemicals that are now seeping into your skin, right? Off-gassing, oops. Off-gassing is a big issue. Most of the foam that is made in different cushions, and we know you go to living spaces and you buy some furniture, it's from China. China's a pretty toxic place, and those foam cushions are off-gassing formaldehyde at a pretty alarming rate. If you ever buy a new car and you see the inside of your window has this film on it, for about 6 months, that's the off-gassing coming out of the cushions in your brand new car. So we're exposed to all these toxins all the time, alcohol, and obviously exhaust fumes. I see people running along the side of the road all the time thinking they're being really healthy. They're absorbing and breathing in these chemicals coming out of the, and I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. It's just mind-blowing to me. So in any event, we're exposed to them. And so I want to show people what the cell looks like. Now, your body obviously has trillions of these things, but a lot of people don't realize that your cell is made up of the same thing that your body is. For example, it's a mirror of your entire body. So the cell has a circulatory system. Each cell in your body has a respiratory system. It has a digestive system, an excretory system to take away waste. It also has its own immune system. And this thing right here is the nucleus in the cell. And up until about 20 or so years ago, it was thought that you could not remove the nucleus from the cell. And we're going to talk in a few minutes about the gentleman that actually successfully did it and what happened to the cell when they did it. So typically we think that if you try to take the command center or the nucleus, which is analogous to the brain in the human body, if you remove it from the cell will die. And this was true for literally 40 years of typical biology, until this one group of scientists actually successfully removed the nucleus from the cell. But in any event, your cell is a very complex thing. And on every cell is this incredible vast array of membranes. These things are constantly absorbing and repelling. They're either open or closed. They're either on or off. There's signaling happening in these membranes at all times in your body. And so these things are doing amazing things every second of the day. Keep an eye, just kind of memorize that picture and think every cell has almost what looks like a gazillion mini cells on it. So this is the guy. This guy's my hero. I've been studying him for literally about 20, 22 years. I've read all his books. I've watched all his lectures. If he's got a new video on YouTube, I'm watching it. I'm constantly absorbing this guy's material because he coined the term epigenetics. And this is Bruce Lipton, and he's a cellular biologist. He's been studying cells for over 35 years, and he was on the team that for the first time in human history removed that nucleus from the cell. And what happened was, I get really emotional because the cell kept on doing digestion. It kept on breathing. It kept on doing everything it was supposed to do, even though the nucleus was gone. And the team said, this is amazing. But Bruce said, no, this is more than amazing. This changes everything we think we know about the human body and about the cells and about our brain and everything. So he started traveling the world teaching people about epigenetics and the fact that your cells listen to your thoughts. Your cells are influenced by your environment. And right now in the world, genetics is everything. Everyone's talking about genes this and genes that. We have people that come into our store on a daily basis. My doctor says I'm bone on bone. I'm bone on bone. There's nothing I can do. I hear it every day. I used to be bone on bone at 39 years old. Both my hips, bone on bone. I'm no longer bone on bone, folks. It's healed by itself. Your body is constantly healing. The body is divinely inspired to heal as long as you remove the condition that's preventing it from healing, okay? And cannabinoids help do that. So this guy's an amazing man. Study his work. You'll learn a lot. So today's topic, cannabinoids. There's two types of cannabinoids. There's some we make within the human body. Your body actually makes cannabinoids. And then there's others that we consume, phytonutrients that we put in the body to become healthy. So endocannabinoids are made within the mammalian body, so any mammal that bears milk has these receptors, okay? These receptors exist throughout the central and peripheral nervous system, okay, throughout the whole body. And then we have phytocannabinoids that are found in plant material that we consume to supplement within the body, okay? So the story of the ECS and how it came to be was the endocannabinoid system was discovered by a group of NIM researchers in 1992. The now infamous Dr. Raphael Mechoulam is an Israeli doctor that discovered this vast grouping of receptors spanning the entire central and peripheral nervous system. It's the largest class of receptors in the human body, okay? And what it does is it controls physiological and neurological chemical interactions. So we're not going to be talking about electrical stimulations in this workshop, but these chemical interactions control pain, mood, sleep, memory, movement, immune system function, as well as sensation throughout the whole body. And anandamide, which we'll be talking about more in a few minutes, was the first naturally occurring endogenous cannabinoid made from within the body. And it is a neurotransmitter that controls the brain. Okay? So, phytocannabinoids, found in various plant materials. Cannabis. Cannabis is now a big business. Everyone's familiar, has heard of someone getting their medical marijuana card, going and getting some cannabis medicine, and these cannabinoids are what heal the body. But unfortunately in cannabis, there's high concentrations of something called THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, which makes us high. It strikes a receptor in the brain. It causes a very calming or relaxing synthesis in the brain. For some people, we're seeing more and more people, literally on a daily basis, that their brains are a little different. My wife is one. When my wife takes CBD, she doesn't get a relaxing, calming effect like I do. She gets a different effect. Her brain is just a little different. And we're seeing more and more people with cannabis medicine that the THC is causing what's called neuroinflammation in the brain. They start to get a little wiggy. They don't know why. My buddy's on it. He's responding great. What's up? What's happening? Your brain is wired differently. Again, everyone's body is totally unique. Okay? So cannabis is a big medicine now, and it's a big business. But cannabinoids are also found in hemp. Okay? They're also found in hops. Not the hops we make beer from, but there's about 100 different species of hops plants. Okay? So there's cannabinoids in hops, also flax seeds, and there's trace amounts of cannabinoids in other plant species like caryophyllene or caryophyllene, depending on how you want to pronounce it, potato, potato, tomato, tomato, right? So peppers. So now we get to the good stuff, hemp versus cannabis. There is a misconception that hemp is the same as cannabis, and it's not. It's actually quite different. I like to use this analogy in the store on a daily basis. This is a lion. This is a panther. They're both cats. They're both in the cat family. They're not the same cat. They're very different. Same goes true with cannabis and hemp. So the hemp plant, it looks more like bamboo. It's a tall, sinewy plant, packed with cannabinoids, very little THC. Cannabis, on the other hand, is filled with THC. Now, this is the male plant, and this is the female plant. She blooms. These are actually known as the flowers or the buds. They're not colorful flowers like most plants, but that bud is filled with all those cannabinoids, and it's primarily THC. So if we took a pound of cannabis and a pound of hemp and we ground it up and we analyzed it, cannabis is mostly THC with other cannabinoids, about half other cannabinoids, including CBD and CBG and others. On the other hand, hemp is almost all cannabinoids, mostly CBD and some other cannabinoids, high amounts, and just a smidge of THC. So what we do is the laboratories will go in and actually extract that THC molecule, and we end up with just pure CBD with no THC, so we can influence the body without the high. We're not dealing with being high, okay? So the difference is cannabis is grown to have elevated levels of THC. THC is heavily psychotropic, makes us high. Hemp has low levels of THC and high levels of cannabinoids, and to date, there are over 100 different cannabinoids in these plants. Now, most are trace in size, like celery. Celery is obviously a vegetable that we put in our food. Celery is 98% water. The rest of it is that sinewy stuff. Very few minerals in celery. It's mostly water. Now, there's 6 of the most common cannabinoids, and CBD tends to be the most prevalent because there's more of it in the plant than anything else, okay? So, the 6 primary cannabinoids that influence the body very powerfully are THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, again, that makes you high, CBD, cannabidiol, or cannabidiol, tomato, tomato, and then we've got CBC, which is cannabichromine, CBG, cannabigerol, CBN, cannabinol, and then we've got CBDVA, which is cannabidiolic acid. All these cannabinoids have powerful regulatory effects on the body, and they balance. When people come into the store and say, I can't believe what this is doing, it's always trying to restore balance in the body. One person walks in the store and says, I'm dealing with ADHD. I can't focus, I'm stressed out, I'm in front of a computer all day, maybe the food he's eating, maybe a brain toxin, could be 1,000 things, but this person can't focus. They're wigging out. We put CBD in their body at the right dose, which we'll talk about later, and they calm right down. They're very calm, they're very relaxed, and they feel great. Another person walks in the store, the opposite. They're depressed. They're on prescription medications for depression. They're low, they just don't feel right. Something's not, chemical imbalance in the body caused by something. And we give them CBD, and all of a sudden they feel great. Anandamide goes up in the brain, they start feeling wonderful. So it has opposite effects based on what the body needs. So cannabinoids are aptogenic, which means they will adjust to your body's needs.